is the opening contest on TNA's Thursday Night Impact, scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by Ms. Brooks from Wall Street in Manhattan, New York. He is Robert Roode.
It was last month at our Turning Point pay-per-view when the CEO, and there you see her on the left, and by the way, CEO stands for Chief Executive Offender of Roode Enterprises, Ms. Brooks, which I was going to talk about losing the bikini contest to Eric Young, but there we just see Robert Roode sending Ms. Brooks to the back. I mean, Don, I remember last week on Impact, there was a meeting between Eric Young and Ms. Brooks in the men's room.
Well, and at the end of it, Eric Young looked shocked with all the lipstick all over his face, but he didn't look like he was disappointed, if you know what I mean.
And his opponent from Detroit, Michigan, the War Machine, Rhino.
And here comes the War Machine from the Motor City headed to the ring. And I think Rhino has learned an important life lesson when it comes to the recent exchanges with the phenomenal AJ Styles. And that life lesson is not everybody wants your help.
Well, that's exactly right. And I think he was just didn't want to see AJ Styles go down the path that, of course, him and his former friend Christian Cage did. But with AJ Styles right now, he's on his own agenda, and it has turned into a war between these two. And, of course, the final resolution, it will be Rhino and the phenomenal AJ Styles in a last man standing match. And when you think about it, Mike, what a better way for these two to get it on.
You're right. Let's settle it once and for all between them. You know, you can't really blame Rhino. He tried to counsel AJ Styles. He tried to assist him through those tough times that you talked about. AJ shocked us all, the lack of patience that he had towards Rhino, and I think the physical attacks as well. It all goes down January the 14th at Final Resolution. Let's settle it. Last man standing rules.
And let's not forget at Turning Point when AJ Styles feigned the ankle injury, and I mean, you and I thought he was severely hurt. The crowd was actually telling him thank you for his service. He had everybody fooled. Rhino stopped what he was doing. Then AJ came in and pinned him. It was embarrassing to Rhino. Don't expect to see that happen again. I can promise you that. Rhino won't trust anything that AJ does.
You know, since that Turning Point pay-per-view when Ms. Brooks lost the bikini contest to Eric Young, Robert Roode has insisted that Ms. Brooks use her powers of persuasion, shall we say, to recruit Eric Young and bring him over to their side, to bring EY to Roode Enterprises.
Well, I'm wondering, too, we saw Robert Roode at the beginning when he came out of the tunnel, looked at his watch, sent Miss Brooks back to the back, and obviously, I believe, that's got to have something to do with the Eric Young situation. And again, whatever she's doing, it looks like her powers of persuasion were working on Eric Young last week. Because I believe the last thing he said was, I think I'm out of control, but I think I like it.
You know, Roode figures if you can't beat him, join him. Close the deal with Eric Young. It's like Robert Roode thinks that he's going to get the rub from the popularity of Eric Young and all of a sudden become an instant fan favorite here in TNA, but I'm not sure that things are quite that simple.
Well, the strength of a good businessman is to surround himself with good people, and that's exactly what Robert Roode is thinking. Now you look at Rhino, look at these guys. I mean, this shows you the size of a Robert Roode because, I mean, let's face it, Rhino's an imposing figure, and Robert Roode can stand there with him toe-to-toe, and it doesn't look to be physically dominated by Rhino, but we see right there the nice shoulder block by Rhino, the damage that the War Machine can do.
Interesting comments from Samoa Joe at the top of this Impact broadcast. Very personal situation between he and Kurt Angle. We saw last week on Impact during the year-end awards, the attack, and wait a minute, here comes Ms. Brooks down the ramp. Well, where's she been?
Well, and look at her hair. It was up when she left. Now it's out. It looks a little disheveled, and she's trying to distract the War Machine, and the War Machine goes right at it, then ducks, and he gets Robert Roode right where he wants him, and he bends him.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Rhino.
Well, Robert Roode put on the brakes, didn't have contact with Ms. Brooks, but that enabled Rhino to roll him up, and yes, the War Machine gets the 3 count, and we've seen this before. He's not going to be happy.
Well, Miss Brooks had good intentions, but but with somebody with the experience of Rhino. Oh, you can see him. Robert Roode just giving her the 1-4, and he's telling her to get out of here, to get out of his sight.
Remember the ultimatum. Oh, here comes AJ from behind. Going to talk about the ultimatum that Ms. Brooks brings Eric Young to Roode Enterprises or she's out. And then AJ Styles with another sneak attack on Rhino.
Well, and it was perfectly timed as Rhino was looking back. I think he was even distracted by what was going on with Ms. Brooks and Robert Roode, and that's exactly what AJ Styles wanted. But look at this. Rhino shows his strength. Just gets him in a bear hug and just tosses him to the mat.
Oh, you're right. He just powered Styles right down to the canvas. He's going to set up for you-know-what.
Oh, he wants to hit him with the score. But look at this. Robert Roode comes in, actually helps AJ Styles right there, and then he starts putting the boots to the War Machine, and he's calling for AJ to do the same.
Oh, now Roode and Styles with the double team, as you're right, Don. They both put the boots to the War Machine, Rhino. But Roode telling Styles to finish him off? What's this all about?
Well,
no way.
Look at
not
this.
A Styles clash.
Styles
Oh, my God.
He hits it. Nails Rhino right in the face on the mat. And AJ Styles is cocky right now.
January 14 and final resolution. AJ Styles Rhino. Last man standing to JB. Standing outside the office of Jim Cornette.
Jeremy Borash outside of Jim Cornette's office, still waiting word. His comments on the three-way title situation at final resolution. Now,
Jeremy, hey, can I talk to you for a second?
yeah.
All right, look, man, I got this big problem. A friend of mine, he's got a problem. He needs our help. Okay, he's got the situation with his girl, and she's really putting the pressure on, man. She's putting the screws to him.
Pressure to do what, Eric?
You know. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We talking about Miss Brooks here?
No. I'm not talking about anybody in specific. I'm just saying this guy that you don't know, he's got a problem. Look, it's kind of pathetic. He's not really skilled in these kind of things, you know. He needs our help. You're the love doctor.
Is this friend of yours a virgin, Eric?
No, he's from Kansas.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think that's
Eric. Hi, Eric. Eric, look at me. Eric, you look nice tonight. Eric, did you happen to get what I asked you to get? You didn't, did you? I can tell by the look on your face. You know what? I'm going to give you to the end of next week, but if you don't, you're fired.
My friend's in a real pickle now. Speaking of pickles, you got a couple bucks?
Still to come, Christian Cage versus Kurt Angle. But up next, Samoa Joe speaks out on Angle's actions last week on Impact.